A very good evening to you. Now, the term pioneer might perhaps not be enough to describe legendary Kenyan long-distance runner Douglas Wakiihuri. First Kenyan to win the World Marathon title, first Kenyan winner of the New York Marathon, first Kenyan Commonwealth Marathon champion, and first Kenyan Olympics marathon medalist. I talked to Wakiihuri, who also happens to be the first Kenyan to win the London Marathon, and filed this report ahead of the UK capital's showpiece.
Let's Go Kenya, in association with the Communications Authority of Kenya. 20 years of opening your world.
1, 2, 3.
Douglas Wakiihuri not only knows the feeling of running in the London Marathon,
He's a Buddhist, he speaks fluent Japanese, and he's got great discipline.
he knows how to win it.
Steve second, and it's Sala that makes third.
That was in 1989 when Wakiihuri became the first Kenyan to win the London Marathon. Fast forward over 3 decades later, and we find the 57-year-old in his element, running the forest trail alongside one of his mentees. Wakiihuri describes his London victory as the culmination of what had been a rivalry between himself and then long-distance Djibouti runner Hussein Ahmed Salah.
So my coach came and said, Douglas, have you heard about the press conference? I said, no, I have no idea. He said, no, Salah is here to beat you. I said, fine, I'm game.
The then 24-year-old had beaten Salah to win the 1987 World Championships Marathon in Rome, then scooped marathon silver a year later at the Seoul Olympics to better Salah's bronze. Wakiihuri is sentimental about the Ngong Forest Sanctuary. He trained here as a teenager as part of the Langata Women's Prisons Athletics team after his mother, a prison's warden, was transferred to the facility. But the Mombasa-born athlete had realized his love for running much earlier in Meru.
We were about 2 kilometers away from school, and we had a short break of 1 hour for lunch. That competition of a few boys who used to compete going for lunch is the trigger that brought all this thing. And I also, at that particular time, I realized that I have a running talent.
A year after finishing high school in 1982, Wakiihuri seized the life-changing opportunity to train in Japan, all the while chasing his dream of running in the Olympics.
The 10,000 meters in Kenya is very competitive. So the coach decided that the only way to go to the Olympics is to try and challenge the marathon, which was a bit easier than to qualify, because you were only required to run at 2 hours in 16 minutes, because Japan is very good in timekeeping, and that for sure, within the 4 years that I was there, I got the first gold medal for Kenya in the marathon.
That World Championship gold medal is admittedly Wakiihuri's most special amongst his impressive collection that also includes a 1990 Commonwealth Marathon gold.
Douglas Wakiihuri has a principle to marathon running, one that he famously said on the eve of the 1990 New York City Marathon, right before winning it. A marathon, Wakiihuri said, is like a rose.
So the marathon training is like the stems and the thorns that up the tree of the flower, of the rose flower. But when you win the race, it is as red as a rose flower, because everybody is happy about it. But nobody can tell you all the hardship that you went through to just win that medal.
Wakiihuri was also famous for running in a distinct white glove, something akin to the late pop star Michael Jackson, that the Olympic medalist says had more to do with tactic than fashion.
And when you go to grab the water, because of the sweat and the condensation of the water on the bottle, it slips and you drop it. So I try to figure out how well can I hold the water without, or clean my hands before I grab the water.
The 57-year-old is now known for training Kenya's First Lady as part of her Beyond Zero half marathon. His philanthropy has helped many, with proceeds of his Japanese-funded Sotokoto Marathon having opened a nursery school in Kenya's largest slum, Kibera, where he also set up a running club to help the area's less privileged children, many of whom he mentors. Wakiihuri boasts of other talents as well.
I also compose music. I have a small studio in the house. I've trained myself to compose even Japanese music.
A man used to sailing in uncharted waters, Wakiihuri's victories opened the floodgates of success for Kenyan marathoners, success that they hope to continue at the 2020 London Marathon.
Let's go Kenya.